Welcome back, adventurers, to Let's Play Sentinels of the Multiverse. In the previous video, we were successful in halting the rampage of the sentient robot designated Omnitron as it terrorized the city of Megalopolis. And with the fall of Omnitron, we have now defeated the 4 core villains of Sentinels of the Multiverse, but there are many more villains that lie ahead. As you can see, we have a ton of villains to get through, but for now we're going to be fighting Ambuscade, the first villain in the first mini expansion of Sentinels of the Multiverse. He has a difficulty of 1 here. In the physical card game he was actually given a difficulty of 2, and his villain icon is that of Haka for reasons that I will be explaining right now from his backstory. Ansel Moreau, world famous French action movie star, has a few dark secrets. His big game hunting hobby has spiraled out of control. His constant need for bigger and more threatening prey has had him hunting the very heroes that protect the Earth. He employed a shady genetics corporation to give him powers, but the process went terribly wrong, scarring his $1 million face and ending his acting career. However, Ansel gained energy manipulation abilities from the process. Taking the name Ambuscade, he puts his new powers and a vast arsenal to work hunting the most powerful heroes. At the top of his list, Haka, the ageless Maori warrior. No one else could provide a sufficient challenge to win the skilled Ambuscade, the world's most efficient and calculating hunter. So Ambuscade is essentially kind of like Kraven from Marvel's Spider-Man, except that unlike Kraven, Ambuscade actually relies more on technology and gadgets to win the day. He's not he's not entirely difficult. That said, he does have a few surprises in store for us. But because we're going to be fighting Ambuscade, it's only fair to bring along Savage Haka along for the ride. Also going to be showing off the hero mini expansion, which is Unity. She is a Complexity 2 hero, and I actually have her backstory right here, because I purchased both Ambuscade's and Unity's mini expansions for the physical game. Young Devra Caspert's parents were shocked when she began building things without even touching them. She could simply think about the components in front of her and they began assembling themselves. She was a technopath. Anything she could visualize she could build, given the right parts. By the time she was 18, Devra had already dropped out of 3 different universities, as she had little patience for classes. She spent her time cobbling other students' belongings into adorable mechanical golems that danced around the classroom, which did not go over well with anyone. Recently she received word from the Ekin Rubendal Laboratories. They had a position for her, if she was interested in working with Dr. Stinson. So Unity is basically Dr. Murder Stinson's intern, also known as Tachyon, the quickest woman on Earth. And there you can see she's using her power to construct one of her mechanical golems, which are allies of her that she can put to very good use. Now, speaking of Tachyon, we're going to be bringing her along for this episode. Regular Tachyon, not super scientific Tachyon this time. And we might as well bring along good old Absolute Zero, because I haven't used them in a while. The environment we're going to be fighting Ambuscade in is the environment mini expansion Silver Gulch 1883, which has an interesting history to it. Basically, you've gone back and there's been a time portal and the heroes have been taken back to the year 1983, specifically Silver Gulch. Now, not only do we have to contend with the lawlessness of the Wild West, but we also have a bigger worry, the portal itself that brought us here. If that portal closes, the heroes are trapped for all eternity in 1883. So we don't just have Ambuscade to contend with, and Ambuscade is certainly going to make it very, very tough, and there's that old Wild West music. You are certainly large, mighty warrior, but you are no match for my superior skills. I'm not going to say that in a French accent. I couldn't do a French accent to save my life. You think you me your prey, hunter? I like it. Let's see what you have. Indeed, I like your style, Haka. Some people may think I'm too boring or generic, but Haka is actually a pretty interesting character. Now, as I mentioned before, Ambuscade has a ton of gadgets and weaponry in play at his disposal. He gets to put 3 of them to use at the beginning of the game, and at the end of his turn he deals the strongest hero, the hero with the most health, 3 projectile damage, which is, in this case, is his nemesis Haka. Now Haka has Enduring Intercession, Haka of Battle, Mere, and Moko. Unity has only 1 mechanical golem in her hand this turn. Platform Bot, which is essentially a recreation of Baron Blade's mobile defense platform, as you can see. Reduces damage dealt to itself by 1, and at the end of Unity's turn, it hits a target for 3 energy damage. Pew pew lasers, just like the real thing, right? Unity is a very fun character. She has volatile parts, which allows her to do damage whenever a golem is destroyed. Hasty Augmentation, which allows the hero to use a power, and if that power deals damage, that damage is increased by 2. And as you can see, Absolute Zero is definitely not having a fun time with Unity. And finally, there is a construction pylon, because for those of you who are in the know, you must always construct additional pylons. I'm actually surprised, maybe Christopher Bedell knew about this little Easter egg reference. There are a lot of video game references and a lot of other references in Sentinels of the Multiverse, but I'm surprised he didn't actually, as I said, maybe he knew about it, maybe he didn't. Anyway, that's not important right now. Basically, Construction Pylon allows Unity to put 2 metal golems into play, and it blows itself up. Now the interesting thing about mechanical golems is that they cannot be played during Unity's play phase. They have to be played either at the start of her turn, during her power phase when she can play them, at the end of her turn, or any time outside of her turn, which makes them fairly interesting to play. Tachyon starts up with Hug Goggles, that's good, Lightning Reflexes, Sonic Vortex, and Supersonic Response. And Absolute Zero starts up with both his modules, excellent, Impale and Thermal Shockwave, which is good. Unfortunately, since he is the villain, Ambuscade gets to go first, and there is one of his twin custom handguns, his patented weapons, and an automated turret, which is nothing like Unity's golems. And there is his personal cloaking device. And now he is rendered invisible, which is rather unfortunate, and a sonic mine, which if we blow it up, it deals us 2 sonic damage, and if we get hit by it, we can't deal damage because we have sonic damage. And Ambuscade, of course, is going to not pass up the chance to deal damage to his intended quarry, the Savage Haka. But we're not worried about that right now, although the mine is going to certainly be annoying at the moment. So, now that Ambuscade is flipped to his invisible Stalker side, he is immune to damage, and at the end of his turn he now hits the weakest hero for 3 energy damage, so he's now picking off the weakest link in our chain. Fortunately, if the, at the start of his turn, if he does not have the personal cloaking device, he flips back. Interestingly, even though Ambuscade himself cannot take damage, his personal cloaking device can, which is a bit of a odd paradox, in a sense, but we can deal with that. Gonna throw out melee and beat the cloaking device with it. We want to get rid of that cloaking device as quickly as possible, so that Ambuscade can no longer be invisible, and thus we can start hitting him. Not quite as annoying as the mobile defense platforms of Baron Blade, and we actually want to save that construction pylon. We'll throw out the volatile parts. Now, Unity's inner power is bot hack. She can destroy an equipment card. If she does, she can convert it into a mechanical golem. That's basically how that works. She rearranges equipments into her various mechanical golem friends. She can do this with any of our equipment, much to the chagrin of Absolute Zero, but instead she's going to get rid of her own volatile parts and call forth the power of Platform Bot. Oh look, another Platform Bot. Excellent. And Platform Bot is going to pew 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 the cloaking device. They also mentioned the turret hits the highest hero 2 projectile damage, and Ambuscade's hand cannon deals the hero with the most cards in play 2 projectile damage. He does have his second one, so he can dual wield his custom handguns. We'll throw out HUD goggles just in case, and Tachyon hasn't been damaged, and Sonic Vortex won't do anything because there are no burst cards in her trash, so she's going to Rapid Recon. And she does not want to discard her Fleet of Foot. She wants to keep that because we need card drawing as much as possible. Whenever you have an opportunity to draw cards, use it. Let's just throw out the calibration unit just in case, and Zero is already at full health, so he's not going to do anything. Cold Snap, which would be fairly useful if we get the focused apertures and cryo chamber out, so that we can actually deal more damage. And in the middle of the road is an explosives wagon, which increases all damage by 1, and if it blows up, it deals all of us 2 fire and projectile damage. And there is Ambuscade's proverbial trap card, Unavoidable Explosion, which is a very nasty card. Ambuscade's traps work if Andy just blew up a Platform Bot there. Boo. Ambuscade can hit Haka again, because Haka has loads of health, but Unavoidable Explosion, he shuffles it face up into his deck, and if it ever gets revealed, it activates, so we don't want to do that. And Haka will no longer wield his melee, instead he'll beat down the personal cloaking device with his mighty Tire. So now Ambuscade should no longer be invisible at the start of his next turn, and we might as well get rid of the automated turret just in case, because to Haka it's just another target. Might as well throw out hasty augmentation, and instead of using it on Absolute Zero, is going to use Unity's going to use it on Haka, which means that Haka gets to deal extra damage. Nice. So there's the that's the automated turret gone. If we can, we just need to wait until Ambuscade is fully revealed before we can actually start hurting him. Of course, we do have the good citizens of actually no, we can get rid of Haka's mere to get the platform bot into play. And there's stealth bot. Probably should have kept that. If we destroy the mine, we're not gonna... Actually, we'll get rid of the mine now, because even though we're not gonna be able to take... Even though we're gonna take quite a bit of damage here, unfortunately the platform bot is... well, the platform bot isn't going to quite be destroyed, which is good. Unfortunately, it only has 1 health at the moment. But at the start of Ambuscade's next turn, which will be after the Silver Gulch's turn, we'll all be able to deal damage. So we're not going to be dealing damage this round. Fleet of Foot, Punish the Weak, Volatile Parts, Hypersonic Assault, and Fueled Freeze. Nice. Although that's actually not that helpful, because Ambuscade only has 1 ongoing card in his entire deck, which we'll see if we actually get to it. I could actually look through his deck right now, but I don't want to spoil any surprises here. Tachyon hasn't been dealt damage. So we won't do anything right now except use Rapid Recon again. Insight. We don't want to get rid of that just yet. We may get rid of another one if we draw it, but not right now. Do I want to throw out Cold Snap or Impale? Impale deals 2 cold damage. A Thermal Shockwave will come in handy when I get the... Actually, to be on the safe side, I'll use the Transducer. And Zero can't do any damage, so he can't heal himself anyway. And there's Cryo Chamber, which will increase Zero's cold damage. And there is Matthew Hayes, one of the infamous Hayes brothers, and one of the lawless gunmen of Silver Gulch. And he picks up the platform bot, because of course he does, because he hits the weakest target, the weakest non-environment target. And now Sonic Mine wears off, so we can now do stuff, and Ambuscade is visible again. Unfortunately he gets to shuffle his trash into his deck and play a card, but he's already at max health, so he doesn't heal. And there's his ongoing card, Charged Attacks. It deals 3 damage, 3 projectile damage to... Oh no, he doesn't use it yet. Increased damage dealt by Ambuscade by 1. Whenever a device is destroyed, Ambuscade deals each target 2 energy damage. Interestingly enough, although Ambuscade's deck is said to have 25 cards, which it does and which it should, the physical copy of the Ambuscade mini expansion actually has 26 cards. For some reason, they say it's some decks, but it may have been all of the Ambuscade decks. Let me know in the comments, because the one I purchased definitely had 2 charged attacks, which means that Ambuscade has 26 cards. He's only meant to have 1 of these, and this has actually been confirmed on a forum by Christopher Badell himself. Haka is going to use the Haka of Battle. And there's a Rampage and another Haka of Battle. And Haka is going to discard some cards to increase his mighty damage. Get rid of these cards. 4 cards. and actually keep the remaining cards in our hand, Haka of Battle, Rampage, and Tomoko. So now Haka will deal 7 damage to 2 targets this turn, plus extra damage. So we'll deal a whopping 9 damage to Ambuscade. It's all in good fun, isn't it, Haka? And he'll try and beat down Matthew Hayes. Unfortunately, the explosive wagon does count as a cover, which reduces damage dealt to Hayes by 1, but that begs the question, why would you hide behind an explosive wagon that is capable of blowing up? And we want to get Stealthbot into play. As you can see, Stealthbot is actually based off of the Wraith from Mystery Comics. Basically, she has 5 golems, each of them are based off of the Freedom 5. She does have other golems, such as Platform Bot, B-Bot, and Raptor Bot, aka Mr. Chomps, but she has 5 special bots built in the image of the Freedom 5, and they actually have abilities similar to their flesh and blood counterparts. For example, Stealthbot reduces damage dealt to it by 1, and whenever a hero gets dealt damage, we may direct it to Stealthbot. So Stealthbot basically acts like a mechanical smoke bombs in that sense. So we want to put Stealthbot into play by getting rid of volatile parts. So Stealthbot will take damage if we require it, but I never like getting rid of golems if I can help it. First I had a quick insight, is to draw some cards and get rid of some cards so that we can actually so we've got a Sucker Punch, another Hard Goggles, and another Hypersonic Assault. We'll get rid of the Sucker Punch, and she has been dealt damage by Ambuscade this turn. We'll get rid of the other no, we won't get rid of the other Hard Goggles, we'll get rid of the Lightning Reflexes. There we go. So we could do one of two things. We could either use Hypersonic Assault to hit everyone for 1, so that we can actually deal damage, and we actually probably want to do that right about now, because I don't want Hayes blowing up Stealthbot. So Ambuscade, Explosive Wagon, and Matthew Hayes won't be dealing damage, which is very handy. Unfortunately, we don't have to worry about the time portal just yet, although that will change at some point, unless we're really, really lucky. And there's a Lightspeed Barrage. Tachyon has 3 burst cards in her trash. She wants that at some point. Probably could have used the Supersonic Response, but we can use that the next time to get dealt damage. You can use Fueled Freeze to destroy his ongoing card, but actually I think we're going to throw out Cryo Chamber, and then Absolute Zero will actually fire damage is reduced to Absolute Zero by 1. Could get rid of the actually, you know what, we're going to get rid of the charged attacks with Fueled Freeze, because this is the only ongoing card that Ambuscade has. So we're going to deal Ambuscade 2 damage, because it won't get rid of Matthew Hayes, so we'll just deal him 2 damage, and we'll we'll hit him anyway, and we'll hit the wagon anyway. So he hits all targets for 1 damage. I thought that he hits the amount of targets that X equals the amount of ongoing cards destroyed, but that's for damage anyway. Zero will now use the power of thermodynamics and not redirect it to stealth bot, so they can actually deal some more damage to Ambuscade. And probably should have gotten rid of Haze, but oh well. And there is Cyrus Haze. Reduce damage dealt to him for every cover in play, and at the end of his turn he gets to deal the 2 non-environment targets with the lowest health 3 projectile damage, because he has 2 guns, because of course he does. And he hits Stealth Bot, and we do not want to redirect damage to Stealth Bot, because we want to keep Stealth Bot intact as much as possible. The charged attacks can actually be very, very annoying. If charged attacks were in play, if we destroyed, say, automated turret, it would be dealing us quite a bit of damage. Of course, since Ambuscade is has been dealt damage from hypersonic assault, he can't do that. But I'm going to play Rampage, so I'll just use Tomoko, and then I will hit Ambuscade for 5, and we'll get rid of Matthew Hayes. I believe there's a 3rd Hayes brother by the name of Tyler Hayes, and he's another lone gunman. Of course, you're wondering, where's the sheriff? Well, there is a sheriff in Silver Gulch. His name is Sheriff Pratt, and he does not like hoodlums in his town. Flash Forge isn't going to do us any good, and neither is Construction Pylon, so we're actually going to skip both of Unity's phases so that she gets 2 cards, and I really wish I could play that Inspired Repair so I could repair Stealth Bot. And there's B-Bot. Good old B-Bot. As I said, Ambuscade isn't really that difficult of a villain, but we'll actually get rid of Cyrus Hayes, because he's an annoyance, and that actually gives us an extra burst card in Tachyon's trash, so that we can actually use Lightspeed Barrage against Ambuscade, and then next turn we'll use Sonic Vortex to deal some heroic justice, even though we don't have Legacy on our team. Tachyon still deals justice, and we want to get rid of Accelerated Assault, because it's a burst card that we can dispose of, and there's another Supersonic Response. Absolute Zero is actually going to throw out an Impale on Ambuscade, so he gets dealt damage. I never get to play in Silver Gulch too often, and no, do not want to redirect damage. I want to keep pummeling Ambuscade for as much as possible. I can actually see why they downgraded Ambuscade from difficulty 2 to difficulty 1, but fortunately we have yet to see that explosive, that rigged explosive trap, and there's another cover, Stout Barrel, which is unfortunate, and a prickly cactus. We don't need to worry about these at the moment. They do stuff, which I should have explained, and armed and dangerous. So Ambuscade gets to get a device in play, and there's the we've activated his trap card, Unavoidable Explosion. Whenever this card is face up at the top of his deck, he deals everyone 3 energy damage. Nuts. So the stealth bot is going to be destroyed. But he's actually dealing everyone 4 damage because of course he is, because of the explosive wagon. So we were all taking a bunch of damage, and he gets to play another card, which is another automated turret. And a personal cloaking device, because of course he does. Oh, and Tachyon's now down to 7. This is not good. Erg. Yeah, so we can't really do anything at the moment, except actually we might throw out a Haka of battle. I was intending to save this for Ambuscade himself, but we'll get rid of 2 of the rampages and get rid of ground pound. We'll keep one of them just in case, but we definitely want to keep the Haka of restoration. So we want to hit the personal cloaking device for 7, so we can get rid of it because it's annoying. And the stout barrel gets to play the top card of the environment card at the end of its turn, and whenever a non-environment target deals damage to an environment target, prickly cactus hurts it for 2, so which is really annoying. So we want to we'll go after Ambuscade's turrets. So Ambuscade has managed to stall us for time, which is most unfortunate. And might as well throw out Flash Forge. Get rid of the pylon, because we can just get rid of we can get rid of Tachyon's HUD goggles, much to her annoyance. And B-bot, when it's destroyed, deals 1 target 2 projectile damage, and we can destroy we don't want that. Discard 2 cards, we can get 2 cards, we can actually get actually no, we want to get rid of the want to keep the construction pylon, get rid of the inspired repair, much as I don't want to, but it'd actually be useful if we get to so we get another platform bot into play. And we might get a either Mr. Chomps or any of the others. There's Champion Bot, Cryo Bot based on Absolute Zero, Champion Bot is Legacy, Swift Bot is based on Tachyon, and then there's Turret Bot, which is based on Bunker. But we want good old Mr. Chomps, because he deals quite a bit of damage when there are more of his mechanical friends around. And I actually want to get rid of convert one of Tachyon's priceless HUD goggles to so either way they're going to deal a whole bunch of damage, so we're probably going to throw out a platform bot just to be safe. There's scrap metal, which I'll get rid of Ambuscade's personal cloaking device. He does have a card called Vanish, however, which allows him to get his personal cloaking device. And I really wish I could play Supersonic Response right about now, but Ambuscade is still invisible, so we'll throw out that. And Sonic Vortex isn't going to do anything. So we'll just use our power of Rapid Recon and get ourselves a Lightspeed Barrage. If Tachyon can just survive the next round, and if Ambuscade doesn't pull a fast one on us, we should be doing quite well for ourselves. And Ambuscade takes no damage, because of course he doesn't. Third Cryo Chamber, and heal for quite a bit of damage. So all the cold damage gets converted into health because he's absolute zero. And Focused Apertures increases cold damage by 1. And there's the lore, Sheriff Pratt. He gets damage reduction of 1 for every cover and play, but at the end of his turn, and there's Tyler Hayes. Tyler Hayes, he who deals each non-gunman target 2 projectile damage because he has a Vulcan cannon. And Sheriff Pratt gets rid of the turret, because Sheriff Pratt, at the end of the environment turn, he deals the villain or gunman with the lowest projectile, the lowest health 3 projectile damage. He once slammed a man's hand in a cell door just because, and he is the deputy of Silver Gulch at the moment, but Tyler Hayes is unfortunately going to hit all of us for a ton of damage, except of course for Ambuscade, which is very annoying. Very annoying indeed. But, Tachyon is almost incapacitated, which is not good, and he's just destroying everything indiscriminately, but he blew up the cactus. And of course he goes after Sheriff Pratt, who has used the cover of the stout barrel to his advantage. Oh, reactive plating reduces damage dealt to both Ambuscade and the plating by 1, and whenever the Ambuscade takes damage, reactive plating deals damage to Ambuscade, which is most unfortunate. Deals 2 energy damage, I believe. Yeah, first time a target deals Ambuscade damage each turn. Hits that target for 2. Actually, you know what? We're going to punch Ambuscade because Haka can take some damage. Because he has Tomoko out, and he can hit Ambuscade again for another 4 damage. And probably a good idea to deal some damage to that reactive plating, because it's very annoying. Elbow Smash. Depending on what happens here, we could essentially win or lose, but heard a scrap metal, converted into Raptor Bot, just in case, and Platform Bot and Raptor Bot will deal damage. And there's Brainstorm, just in case Unity needs any good ideas. But we have actually almost defeated Ambuscade. Farewell, Platform Bot. Gone but never forgotten. And the Raptor Bot now only deals 2 damage because Platform Bot was destroyed. And now Raptor Bot goes to join him in the metal scrapyard. But Ambuscade is now down to 8. What we want to do is use Hypersonic Assault to deal damage to the reactive plating so that it doesn't hit us whenever, now that it's taken sonic damage, we can hit everything else. Unfortunately, I want to hit Ambuscade first, and everything else, because unfortunately that explosive wagon is going to take quite a bit of damage. Actually no, the explosive wagon isn't actually going to deal us any damage, because hypersonic assault will prevent damage. So now that it blows up, it does absolutely nothing, which is excellent. And everything else can just take damage, because it won't do anything. And Sheriff Pratt doesn't take any damage, and Tyler doesn't take any damage, because they're both trying to hide in the same stout barrel for whatever reason. And Tachyon has 5 burst cards, so she can get rid of Ambuscade, or Absolute Zero can get rid of Ambuscade next turn. I sincerely hope he can. This is cutting it quite close there, and a blinding speed, which is very useful, more so in dealing with the environment than Ambuscade, because again he only has that one ongoing card. Oh, and Ambuscade is down to 2 health. Absolute Zero is going to try something a little bit risky here. He's going to get rid of Cryo Chamber and burn himself for 4, and deal a ton of damage to Ambuscade with the power of focused apertures. And that, I believe, is game. You fought well, Ambuscade, but we have defeated you, my good French sir. And that was Ambuscade, the first mini-expansion villain of Sentinels of the Multiverse. And that was Silver Gulch. Fun little town, if I do say so myself, and the heroes didn't have to worry about getting stuck in the portal. There is a card in Silver Gulch that basically says if the countdown cards, basically it acts similar to the self-destruct sequence in Wagner Mars base, except instead of blowing everything up, it traps everyone here and they can't get back to their own time, which didn't happen because we didn't see that card. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like, favorite, and leave a comment. If you want more Sentinels of the Multiverse shenanigans, please subscribe and hit that bell icon for more updates of Sentinels comic book goodness. I'm the Dungeon Master, and I will see you in the next video to come. Until next we meet, adventurers,